Man, so how have you been? I don't even know how to start a conversation
There's nothing
after
you can
listening
ask
to
me. There's nothing that I can follow that up with. That's like, oh, if you got something you want to say, here's your chance. You want to play something, Curtis? No, I don't at all. Never. It has to
nobody
settle.
wants to play anything after that.
That has to settle for like a week, and then hopefully, that's crazy. But I've been well, man. I've been
Yeah.
uh, doing the normal two step, the normal dance, trying to figure out things as a content creator in this new space, and how that's going to evolve as I get older and all that good stuff. But
Yeah.
uh, happy to say that we're finally get into a place that makes so much more sense. But I'm been good, man. Family's good.
Good.
Everybody's good.
That's good, man. Yeah, dude. It's been it's been crazy. Like it's one of those times, for those who don't know who Curtis King is, for whatever reason, he's an artist, producer, creator. Just follow his channel. This amazingly talented dude. Um, but I feel like it's a great time to be a creator in this space, an independent creator in this space. And then it's also weird at the same time, just because things and algorithms constantly changing, and you're figuring out how to make all that stuff work as well. So yeah, man, it's definitely interesting, but it's exciting, man. I think I've never experienced a time in my lifetime where you can literally create a lane for yourself and create opportunities, like, just without having to rely on what we used to have to rely on in previous years and ages and things like that, especially in our industry specifically. And I think I've seen you and your growth. And I told you this before, man. Like when I was still working full time and doing music on the side and building my business, like, you were one of the channels that I would always play, either on the way to work or in between calls or on the way back, just to get that inspiration, get that information, the knowledge and things like that. So I appreciate you for that. But I feel like you're like definitely one of those guys who took advantage of the opportunities that are here for us as independent creators. So yeah,
Yeah,
man.
well, I appreciate that, man. It's it never gets old when you tell me that. It still is. Sometimes it's I'm the last one to recognize the ripple effect, because I'm
Yeah.
I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly putting myself out there, and also I put so much of an emphasis on this. May be the first time somebody sees what you're doing,
Right.
and you can't just kind of like rest on your laurels. You can't rest on what you've achieved, and I like that. I like that edge. I like being able to feel like no matter what's going on, evolution is not something that you just have a choice of. It's something that you have to become someone who's ever evolving. And so, I
Yeah.
think I finally feel like I'm not ahead of my time. I'm not behind the time. I feel like this time period um, is calling for authenticity in real time in a way that we've never experienced before, and that excites me,
Yeah.
because those are the things that I would shine at when I was doing um, public speaking in high school, or when I was doing improv comedy in college, and all these different things.
Yeah.
Now this time period calls for our ability to listen to these amazing composers and then just jump into a regular dialogue. Like, it's just a regular Wednesday in everybody's life. This is just normal content creator stuff. So I never take the ridiculousness of it, or even like my gratefulness, the gratefulness of it. Like, I never take that for granted, because I
Yeah.
know that this is not promised to anybody.
Facts, bro. I mean, it can be taken away in a day's time. And I know, bro, I know you've experienced something recently where,
I'm like,
bro,
literally.
literally, like I don't know if y'all
They
know,
got
but
me, bro. They
bro,
got me.
my man almost lost like no, he lost like his
They lost.
control of his entire channel, bro, his entire YouTube channel, and like
They got me.
so talk about that, bro. Like what in the world? Because yo, I didn't just talk about it. Talk about it, bro.
So one of the things that we as content creators, when we're talking about building multiple streams of revenue, sponsorships is definitely something at one point in time you got to have that conversation with you and your team, or just you and yourself, trying to figure out if you want to incorporate that into what you're doing. Now, if your content is generating income by itself, kudos to you, but there are different periods, especially with ad revenue in YouTube, you can't rely on that. And with me kind of like dedicating so much of my business to it, sponsorship money is something that could really be helpful to what I'm building. That being said, this company, or this scammer, posed as a sponsorship opportunity. And usually you can see the scams a mile away. You can tell by them having a Gmail account that looks a little bit fraudulent, or Gmail will tell you what's going on. This one was a little bit more developed than I've ever. It was the most developed scam I've ever seen before. But these folks basically came in, posed as a company, a sound design company that already exists. Um, they used an email that was a little bit suspect from, I think, Naver, but that didn't put any red flags, only because I know some of these companies outsource their marketing and their artist reach outreach.
Right.
Anyways, they asked me if I was down to do a piece of content for X amount of money that sounded really good in the moment. I said, cool. It drug out for about a 7 day period, and they finally presented a contract. The contract had details that they always ask about, like your bank account, your address,
Yep.
for an invoice, at least I should say. And they presented this contract. Contract got signed, and I'm glossing over the details. There's a lot of things that now are seen as red flags, but they had me download a program, an EXE. That was the program I was supposed to be covering in this sponsored post.
Hmm.
I downloaded it, double clicked it, nothing happened, and I said, "Oh no," because I'm pretty familiar with computers. I said, "Oh no,
Yeah.
they might have got me." And I kid you not, within the time span of about maybe 30 seconds, I get signed out of all of my Gmail accounts. I get signed out of my email, my YouTube, and I see that I no longer can get in and even use backup passwords, because now they found a way to use some kind of security chip that I need to buy from Google in order to even get a code. It was so mad how quickly it happened. But over the next, let's say, 48 hours, these people stole about $1,700 from me, in addition to taking my channel, because my channel was overtook. They looked like they deleted all my videos at first. They were running a crypto scam live stream,
Mm.
and they were buying bots for the stream, which in turn got my channel deleted. Then, because they had access through the Gmail account, what I came to find out was that download that I had was a browser hacker, and they were
Okay.
able to get into my browser and then get their way and get into my Facebook. Facebook got deleted, but not before they ran up $900 in ads. My Google Ads got terminated for a second, because they went and ran those up. And so these folks got about $1,700 in the span of a few days. Mind you, my YouTube was already gone. That's a revenue stream of mine. They got into my Instagram, which then got my Facebook deleted. So I say all that to say I'm not taking no damn sponsorships for the rest of the year.
Bruh. I
Yeah,
feel you. Like,
not,
I
not even being
mean,
funny. Like I'm not taking nothing.
bruh, that's crazy. Cause listen, uh, the same. I didn't know it could go to that extent, but I got a similar situation that happened like the end of last year. And it's crazy, bro, how like sophisticated they're getting. Cause I mean, bro,
Bro,
we was going back and forth having a full negotiate, and I thought I was in my bag negotiating something. I'm like, bro, like I was just like, I was like, look,
I did too. I was like, you getting good, boy. You getting good. You getting some kind of deals now. Let's
yo,
go.
exactly. So they hit me with the first number, and I was just like, you know what? I was just like, what if I what if I do this? I was like, YouTube Shorts is buzzing right now. You know, I think it'll be great for further amplification. Let's bundle
Yeah.
a dedicated YouTube short, and we'll do the pre-roll on a long form video to give you maximum exposure. Then quoted them a price. It was just, oh, that's a great idea. I'm like, oh, I'm on it today.
I'm in my bag. Can't tell me nothing. Run that
Listen,
check up. Yeah.
man, so they hit me back, and then we agreed to the price. So I'm like, man, okay, cool. So that's easy. Easy, cut the check. And then something told me, like, I started researching the company, and then start researching like other YouTube videos, seeing if some other influencers might have, reviewed the thing. Then I look at the email because I'm trying to, find the person or whatever, just trying to do the due diligence. And the email was weird, and that's when I stopped the conversation. And let me see, dude, they sent me copy and everything for like the ad, what to read, so it looked legit.
Yeah.
But once I seen the email, that's when I pulled back, and I was like, no, I think they trying to get me. Because I got once with like they wanted me to review a product, and usually they'll send you the link where to order the product, put your information in, blah blah blah. And then usually they'll reimburse you or whatever the cost of the product. So yeah, they definitely didn't reimburse me, and they start pulling charges out, my PayPal and all types of stuff. So yeah, luckily I had it. It was linked to my business credit card, so I was able to shut that down. I didn't have to pay anything, but yeah, I got like that once, and then I was a little more cautious on this one once I seen that email. But then I seen your situation. I'm like, oh man, they're going for blood, bro.
Well, and then they have new tools now too, right? I could tell by now looking at it and spending as much time as I have with Chat GPT that they generated their initial outreach message. They generated that with Chat GPT because they
Wow.
were nailing all the things that would usually be red flags. Like,
Yep.
I know about my sound design companies, and they used a company that I've talked about in the past,
Hmm.
that I haven't talked about in years. And I was like, are they even relevant? Then I saw somebody else had done a review video. Like, trust, I did my due diligence. Were there things that I feel like a dummy about now? Obviously, but in the moment, there's a reason I was dragging that whole thing out for 7 days, even for the money
Yeah.
they were offering. I was like, time will reveal. Either they're going to get too thirsty, or they're going to say something that's like, that's a little bit out of character. It's much easier for me to say no because I'm not thirsting for the money. But the money
Yeah.
would have been a good opportunity to do some things. But it's so funny, and that's funny now. But Gmail, when I go back to the email, they tell me how fraudulent the email might be, and I'm like, could you tell me before I get hacked though?
Exactly.
But that being said, though, what I've understood is that it's not even just, you don't even have to download the programs anymore. I don't want to put his business out there, but another producer homie of mine,
Hmm.
he called me on the day my channel got taken away, and I didn't pick up his call. I was like, bro, I don't want to talk to nobody right now. If they
Yeah.
took my YouTube, I don't want to talk to nobody. And he was like, what he was calling about was that his YouTube or his Gmail got hacked as well. And he said he didn't even have to download a program; he just had to click on a PDF,
Oh wow.
and that's how
That's
their
crazy.
their sophisticated hacking system was able to jump into his stuff, jump into his information because he had his browser open and he opened the PDF. So my thing is this: I should have done this, and this should have been my standard. And usually, 9 times out of 10, this is my standard with any company that reaches out.
Hmm.
I need to talk to a human being on Zoom or any way that we can talk. Let's talk. I need to see
Yeah.
face to face what's going on. But of course, it's not the times that you're on point that you're going to get scammed. It's the
Of
one time
course.
out of 10 that you make that exception where I
Yep.
didn't get on the Zoom. I was like, man, I'm cooking. My value is high right now.
Yeah.
And, they brought they brought me down real cool to earth.
Yeah. Man,
So,
that's
well,
crazy. But yeah, I like that, hopping on the Zoom call with a human being first. And I honestly, I've done it for some brands, and then other brands has just been, via email. But I think that's
Mhm.
something I'm even gonna implement. Just like this is just the standard operating procedure. Like we got to do this if we're gonna work and
Yes.
move forward and partner up, because it is a part of our business, man. Like that's a revenue stream. And when as sophisticated as they're getting and they're using the terminology, they
Mhm.
know what this stuff looks like. Even the directions and the copy and things like that. You just have to be even extra careful. Now we got Chat GPT, which it can make anybody sound like they know something about something. So,
Mhm.
man, that's crazy, bro. Like I had no idea it could get that deep. But I'm glad you were able to. How, bro? How did you even get all this stuff back? Did you get the Facebook? And I know
Uh,
you got the IG.
no,
Like,
Facebook is Facebook is
okay,
gone.
okay,
Facebook is gone. And the thing about it was that it's so sophisticated that even in wiping my system of the virus, even in um, resetting the cache and getting rid of the cookies and all these different things that I researched for Mozilla Firefox, once they're in, if you don't change every single password, they're
hmm
still in. And so I went and I had to think about like what are all the things that I actually use. I haven't even used my Facebook. I got my fan page, but I'm not even using it. They have banned me from my Facebook page because of an Instagram page that was a link to mine that they overtook and changed the name of. And I'm like,
dang,
Facebook doesn't even have a customer service that I can call in, or they have their service for if you're already on there. But man, I've been trying to put in tickets and everything, so I'm ready to let that go. Plus, I
yeah,
never like being on Facebook anyways. But I actually had to jump on YouTube first, and I was like, somebody had to go through this because I know I'm getting scammed. And luckily, there was a video where a guy broke it down. He said, "Man, I know it's going to sound crazy, but go on Twitter and hit up Team YouTube." I was like, "Oh God, I'm not getting my YouTube channel back. There's no way that I'm hitting this YouTube Twitter that has 1.3 million followers." And crazy enough, within an hour, without me, I didn't even like hit my audience up. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning when all this happened.
hmm
I just hit them directly myself, and I was like, "I'm not verified." They took away the verifications on Twitter on mine, and I just said, "Hey, could you guys assist me with this? I definitely got hacked. They're actively hacking me right now." About an hour, 45 minutes, 45 an hour, hour. They came back. They sent me a DM. They gave me this long questionnaire to fill out, and
hmm
I got my channel back within 24 hours. Like
wow,
I remember sitting watching my Lakers, and they were facing the Golden State Warriors at the time. I was like, I was just negative that day. I'm usually not a negative person. I'm like, they probably gonna lose. They probably, and they won. I was like, oh, I guess that's cool. Somebody's happy. And then my wife was like, "Yo, did you get your YouTube channel back?" I said, "No, why?" She said, "A new video just went up." I ran upstairs and I was like, "Oh, let me find out." And sure enough, they had given me back. They gave me back my information and my Gmail and all of that. So the only thing I really lost was that money that I got reimbursed
okay,
and my Facebook. But bro, I am a I can be in a lot of people's eyes a toxic optimist. I look at
hmm
this and I say, how is this to my ultimate benefit? Fam, when I tell you that I was already on a crazy run on my YouTube where I think only missed 1 day of uploading last month,
hmm
I have been on a double tear since I got my channel back. And
oh man,
it helps me to see like how much having it adds to my life. So I'm
yeah,
actually grateful for it now that I got my money back in my channel. But I'm
yeah.
grateful for it now because I've been on fire ever since.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, yeah, I'm glad it worked out. And as fast as it did, that's crazy. Because with something like that, man, the more time that goes by, like the harder it is,
Hmm.
to be able to get it back. LW was just like, if only they use that knowledge to do something positive. I know, right?
Facts.
Like, bro, these scammers be mad brilliant, bro. It's like, yo, if you just start a business and just put that energy into something legal and positive, you could be up.
Hmm.
But
You smart for all the dumbest reasons is what my grandmother used to say. You smart for all the dumbest reasons. Like what you going you got all that information and you gonna use it to scam?
yeah,
Go get you a dollar or something. Like you could your skills are some that actually could be used by the very company that you are scamming, like a YouTube, in
yeah,
terms of getting accounts back or Gmail or Google, I should say, getting accounts back. But I've just come to the place where, for better or for worse, I understand that there are people who have roles that they have taken on in this world. And some people, no matter how much you secure your stuff, I know someone in here said, get your VPN. I got my VPN, but I'm understanding that scammers are going to scam.
They gonna figure a
And
way.
they'll
Figure
figure
it
out a
out.
way. And I just have to make sure that, I'll tell you this, the reason I got my channel back, in case anybody ever comes across this, is because I did not miss minutes between emails. I know it's terrible for your health. I slept with my phone on my chest with
Mm,
the updates loud as it can be. And every time my Gmail update came through, I was like, look, oh, it's not them yet. But
yeah,
I responded back and I gave them the information. I didn't get frustrated with them. I just said I will do whatever is necessary to get this channel back because it's that important to me.
yeah.
So
I
that played a
feel
role.
you. I feel you, man. Yeah, man. They gonna figure out a way to do it. The good thing is, they can't they can't take away your creativity and knowledge. So it's like, we can build things back up, but man, when you've put years and years and years into something, kind of sort of starting from scratch it's overwhelming to think
But
about
you know what the
sometimes.
gift in that is, though, Clint? I look at this and I say, it makes you ask the right question. When
Hmm.
you take away the thing that you're giving all your energy to, it
Hmm.
makes you ask a few questions. One of them is, who are you?
Mm.
You're not what you're doing. It's how you're not what you're doing. You're how you do it.
Yeah,
So if I'm hardworking, if I'm talented, Curtis King, you can take away a YouTube channel. I am still all of these things because of how I do it, right?
facts.
But if I'm like, oh my God, they took away my identity, they took away, I'm too attached at the hip to
Yeah,
something that it's not mine to own. So I look at that and I say, this gave me a gift to where I don't take for granted having 240 or 237,000 odd subscribers. Because
yeah,
for a long time I was like, man, I've been stuck at 236,000 subscribers and you're crying and boohooing about that. And it's like,
yeah,
look at how ungrateful you sound. Because
yeah,
we're always looking to grow and expand what we're doing, but it's like,
yep.
doc, take a moment to really understand. Yes, sometimes your content doesn't reflect that size of an audience, but like, bro, get off your high horse. And sometimes you can't get off of it until somebody kick you off of it. And man, them scammers came and give me an M Bison roundhouse kick onto the floor, and I'm grateful because
Yeah,
now, man, the momentum that I have going with this channel right now is beautiful. I'm just
yeah.
grateful that I was able to get it back.
I feel you, bro. That's amazing, man. Something I noticed, man, with just different people I come across in this space, people who, and I notice this about you, man. I don't know what it is, but people who have kids and who have families, we're built different. Like, there's just it's just certain things, like, yo, like, I'm not about to stress or waste time on this. Or it's like, yo, you realize there's a bigger picture than, like you said, a YouTube channel. Like, I'll start another channel and create videos because the channel is not me. Like, I created the channel. But then I feel like there's a higher level of discipline that's required to be able to do the things that we do, have the influence that we have, and still have and manage and lead families, man. Like, how has that experience been for you, being an entrepreneur in music, and also, having and leading a family, man?
I, I hope this don't get me canceled. But as a father, I feel like in a lot of ways, learning to navigate fatherhood, learning to navigate your way as a husband
Yeah,
is its own form of entrepreneurship in itself.
yeah,
Not for the gain of finances, not for just the beat yourself on the chest for success, but that analogy they give of entrepreneurship is jumping out of a plane and building a parachute on the way down. Don't fatherhood feel like that sometimes? Where
bro.
as much as you think
Absolutely.
you understand, everything that's going on, you're asked to be that much more creative about the situation. Like there have been scenarios where I go downstairs and my wife is meeting me at a 10 and my son's at a 15 and I just came from a 2. Like just being on live stream and I'm coming like my energy's here. And I go down and it's like, he's sick, he's doing this happened right here. And then I am forced to come down there and say, don't forget that powerful as as powerful as your wife and a woman is within a household, in a lot of ways, us as men are the foundation. We're the energetic rock.
Yeah.
How our mood goes affects so many people in the household. So
Yes.
with that responsibility that I've never actually understood until I became a father and a husband, I now realize that I my flaws, my character flaws, not only affect me, but they affect other people.
Yep.
And how I choose to wake up and present myself in that day can have a tremendous effect on how well my day goes, not because of my influence on just me, but on them.
Yep.
So when I recognize that so much of my life is about them and making sure that I put myself in a place to where I can be at the top of my health mentally and physically for them, man, it's just that selflessness that I wish I would have understood earlier in my 20s, but it
Yeah.
took me being in my 30s before I recognized like going through the process of my wife when she was pregnant and having to be and wanting to be there for her, understanding what that is. My son is on the spectrum, now understanding what those necessities come along with that. I'm just in a point where I'm like, dog, all this music stuff that I thought was so important, I thought was so stressful, this ain't
It
nothing,
ain't.
bro.
It
We
ain't.
talking
It's
about kicks and
easy.
snares. We talking about some kicks and snares right now. Really, like not to belittle it because it is a very it's as complex as you want it to be. But I'm telling you, parenthood will humble. It will
Facts.
humble you. And I can be stubborn as they come, but bro, you know how this is, man. Like when you get the family situation, like you don't want to be a part of no online pettiness. You don't want to be a part of none of that stuff. And then when you finally do speak up, it come off a little bit. It's that daddy anger. So the internet saw a little bit of that this year. Like, you know, not to bring up old stuff, but when I had my issues with BusyWorks Beats, they saw daddy energy come out where I was like, I'm sick and tired of this. I don't want to do this no more. This is how I feel. Like that's I come from that kind of a generation of men, but I love it, man. I love the pressure because it makes me feel like I can achieve anything, man.
That's a fact, bro. You nailed it, man. Like, I mean, you wake up in the morning, you're the one that's setting the tone in the house. Like, if your house is pissed, bro, it's probably because you done did something to piss them off. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's man,
Yes.
and it happens sometimes, and then sometimes you still gotta get in the studio and show up, get in front of the camera and
Mm-hmm.
show up. So
Mm-hmm.
it works to our advantage to make sure we're setting that tone right because we know like that's gonna affect our mood, it's gonna affect our vibe, and you don't want that to affect everything else that you have going on. So like juggling that is a challenge, but it's also a reward because it definitely puts things into perspective, and you just be like, yo, you think about TV placements, and I know a lot of producers like that's something, yo, like that's a goal, or it's a struggle, but it's like, bro, like it's a TV placement. You reach out to a company, if the music is good, they place it, the end. Like, but when you're talking
Or yes
about
or no, ultimately, right? It's
exactly, bro. Like, I mean, that's easy. I mean, we can create a repeatable process. We can do this over and over and over again, man. But when you talk about managing emotions
oh
of
man.
a woman, the inability to use logic as a 4-year-old, you know what I mean? The oh my gosh, bro. We got a 1-year-old now. So now he's just like, bro, as soon as mommy sets him down, he's just like, nope, cry. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But it's a
Mm.
lot, man. But I definitely think it makes you stronger as a person, man. And it just allows you to allow a lot of things to just roll off your shoulders. You're just like, yeah,
Man,
that's not worth my
you
time.
know exactly. And to add on to that, something else I felt like was a supreme gem that I learned was as an artist, as a producer, I was always seeking balance. And somebody had to expose me to the difference between seeking balance and seeking harmony.
Mm.
One of those is achievable. We balance things that we can get a specific measurement on, but tell me what the specific measurement is of energy when you're working on a beat for an hour and when you're spending time with your son for an hour.
Mm.
How do you measure those two and say, I've exerted 73% of energy with my son and with the beat making process?
You
No,
can't
you
do
can
it.
do that with a, you can't do that. You do it with a scale. So why are we trying to seek a balance amongst these things? What we really want is a harmony so that you're not too leaned in on one side that it creates disharmony with your marriage,
Yep.
disharmony with your relationship with your son, or your young one. Like you don't, you really just don't want this thing to be like that meme where where everything's on fire, and I think the character in the middle is like, "This is fine." Like you don't want that to happen, and you know how many times I had to learn that through like hard headedness, where it's like, "Okay, bro, it's not just you no more. You can't stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning making beats because at 7
Oh
a.m. when
man,
he sees you, he not gonna understand any of that. He gonna
bro,
look at you like Daddy, I said play,
it's time to
play.
play. I don't care
It's
how
time, and
sleepy you are. I don't care how late you
uh,
stayed up. It's playtime, bro. Like,
I woke up
let's
this
go.
morning with a massive headache, and I just it's so beautiful the way like it's you can tell this is God's design. The way that you wake up and instead of me saying I got this massive splitting headache and oh my God I just can't do anything. I saw my wife and my son and he had a doctor's appointment today and
Mm.
immediately my brain said you're at a 2 right now. What do we need to do to get you to a 5 so you can get up, get dressed, and go to that appointment with him?
Yeah.
Good thing I did because he got 3 shots today,
Oh
and I'm
wow.
like, you know what? And he got that boy got some strength. He got strength that I didn't have at that age. But with that said, like I'm glad that I went, and I know that my wife appreciates that. And once again, that helps to create or to maintain that harmony.
Yeah.
Understanding that I can't ask her to support me in my dreams if I'm not supporting her in her dreams and her business. So it can make you a more thoughtful person
Yeah.
if you're open to the idea.
Yep. Agreed, man. Yeah, dude. I think uh just balance. I think what we found in our marriage and our family is just like just making sure, like you said, harmony, bro. Making sure like there's an understanding. Okay, now we're about to go into a season where we're gonna be focused a little bit more on work versus
Hmm.
family stuff or marriage stuff. And then once we get through that, okay, we see things are kind of out of harmony with in this particular area. Okay, now we need to focus a little bit more energy on there, and it's just like kind of going through the different seasons and knowing like where you are. Like I know the past couple months, my wife she just started a business of her own, like a physical location. So
Fire.
yeah, man, we've been helping her get that set up. She basically recruited me as the IT guy. Like she was just like, all this stuff. Here you go.
Man, it's
So
how beautiful to live in 2023, and these are the things that happen. Like this is it's and it's becoming a little bit more commonplace than we. I'm sure our like our parents' generation are just like this is so unheard of, but we have that opportunity now, man. Congratulations
yeah,
to her.
yeah, nah, thank you, man. Much appreciated, and she's excited, man. She's excited. So and I'm excited for her. So, just knowing like, yo, all right, well, I ain't gonna be making too much music until we get this up and running. So now she's good to go. So now we're kind of back into a schedule. For the people in the chat, man, if you guys have questions for Curtis, definitely drop them in the chat. Because we could chop it up all day about kids, shots, and you know, all this other stuff,
That's
man.
that's
But
good stuff, man. Because I think we sometimes as artists and producers can get into that main character syndrome where it's all about our dreams. It's all about how we envision this movie happening, and we
mm,
forget that dog, we're all characters in one another's stories.
yeah,
If we have a brain that can think of ourselves as being in the center of our world, where there's 8 billion experiences like that going on right now, where
Yeah.
people are only seeing it from where they're living at, where their mindset is at, who they're around, and they feel like they're worthy of the treatment that they give you. And I think that
Mm.
that's one of the biggest blessings, is recognizing with my wife, like, the biggest gift I could ever give myself is to give her and pour into her all the energy and support that I can give her in helping her pursue her dreams. I had a
Yep.
pastor one time say that the quickest way to get your goals achieved is to help somebody on the road to theirs. And that's just, for me, that's just a way of life. That's not even a cute Hallmark card. Like, everything that I do, even when you see the stuff within my channel, is all
Yep.
about helping others be their best self. So, but that's key, man. That's key.
Key, bro. Like, yeah, my entire business has been built around that. My entire family is built. I mean, you honestly, I don't know. Like, if if you can't grasp the concept of sacrifice and giving of yourself
Mhm.
before you get married, don't get married, because
No.
that's all it is, bro. Like, there is no, like, I mean, sometimes I have conversations with people. I'm like, bro, you did the wrong thing, bro. You should have
Mhm.
just stayed single, man, because it's constant sacrifice, man. And then you throw kids in there. Yo, it's about the
Woo.
kids, bro. Like,
Yeah.
whatever's best for them, man. We went through so many different changes, man, just the past few years, as far as our schedules and things, because the kids were the kids and their health was like our primary focus. So
Mhm.
we did a lot of moving things around, but like you said, man, it's about giving value and helping others in life and business. And so many people try and do it the other way around. They was just like, yo, let me see what, even as simple as networking, bro, like on the internet or in person. It's
Mhm.
always like, yo, let me give me, like, what can you provide for me? Like, what opportunity can you give me? It's like, yo, if you flip that
Yeah.
and just figure out a way you can help somebody else's situation, man, like, everything you need will be provided in some way, shape, or
Right.
form, you know.
And I think what people don't recognize is that the hidden gem in what you said, and the hidden skill set that occur, or the hidden skill set that you develop in this, is that goal that you have of increasing sales to whatever you're trying to do, or that goal that you want to get a sync opportunity. At the root of that, you're saying, I want to create something of value to someone else so that they will exchange what I value in this moment in time,
Yep.
which is, maybe that's a complete composition or collaboration. And maybe that's financially something that you're in a place of. But when you're in that mindset, oh my gosh, it shifts every detail of your business. I
Yep.
had a marketing teacher tell me one time, he said, do not get into business if you do not truly feel like it's going to help people or improve their life. And I'm
Mm.
like, is this just like some Hallmark card stuff? But he's like, no, the reason why that is because 93, 92, 93% of our language amongst each other that we interpret as body language.
Mm.
So that means that you're giving off messages that are not in line or not genuine with what you say. I want to help people. Yeah, I want to help you. But if your body language comes off a certain way, if the
Mm.
presentation of your music comes a certain way, the presentation of your email comes off a certain way, you
Yep.
couldn't hide it if you wanted to hide it. You can only do it for a little bit of time. At the end of the day, when you actually say, I am here to serve,
Mm.
you will be surprised by how many things in your life shift, and how your way of looking at these opportunities shift, because it's no longer about, man, why nobody buying my beats, or why nobody coming to my website buying my merch. It's like, well, what have you done that is of value for them? Who are you bringing together? Like, a lot of folks, we've had this conversation too. A lot of people try to start a community and they're like, man, why don't I have more support around what I'm doing? And it's
Hmm.
like, what do you support?
Yeah. Yep.
Are you part of, do you remember what it's like to be a fan of something? If that's the case and you don't remember, how could you possibly have the DNA of how someone could become a fan of you, and how could you even know how to take care of that person?
Yeah.
So that's the beautiful part about life, is that no matter what stage you're at with this, life is going to always teach you a hard lesson that you
Yep.
can either grow from or repeat over again.
Exactly. Cause yeah, if you don't learn it, bro, you're going to have to keep being taught that lesson until you learn it, until you get it. Um, and that even in sync, man, you know, some producers are like, yo, I want to make what I want to make. Like what I do is hot. I just want them to take it and place it. It's like it don't work that way. Like
Then make
you're
your own movie. You make your own
right,
video and you
right,
place your own stuff, and don't be complaining about, like, you know what I compare that to? I'm going to cut you off. I compare,
no, you're
because
good.
it's a pet peeve of mine,
Mm,
of when people walk into my live streams and they jump in there and they say, "Hey man, I don't know what y'all talking about, but can you play my beat?" I'm like, that's the equivalent of me walking in your house. Oh, you got that nice plaque back there. That's what's up, bro. I think I should put up a picture of my homegirl, just because, like, I think it'd be just dope. You know what I'm saying? Are you not a fan of Sade? Let me put Sade on this side. Like, how are you gonna come into my house redecorating things? Because I don't know, fam. I just know the vibes. I didn't ask for your vibes. This is my
exactly.
environment. So I think it's the same thing with these folks that you're trying to get sync opportunities with.
Yep.
They don't owe you anything. But if
Facts.
they feel like, I'm telling you, there's been every sync opportunity that I have ever gotten, from Levi's to Vans to what was the video game one, APB Reloaded, have
Mm,
all come from Overwatch League relationships.
yeah.
Not
Yep.
one of those came from. I want to go through your course and I want to understand the process of how it is. But I'm telling you, every single one of these opportunities have come from somebody that was like, Curtis is somebody that's reliable. He gonna take care of he gonna any deadlines you set. He's professional and he's gonna take care of it. And I'm like, you said some of these terminology like Sting. I was like, so y'all just want a strong outro? I don't know what it means. Like, what we getting at? And
Strong
so I would,
outro.
but every single one of these opportunities I get, just to kind of bring it home, has been because of the thing that you almost can't teach somebody sometimes. Like,
Yes.
just be a man or woman of your word.
Yep. Simple stuff. I was talking to somebody else about that. I was like, you know what, man, we forget the sync courses and tutorials. We need to teach, but it's the stuff you can't teach. That's the problem. It's just like it's the things. It's character. It's integrity. It's these things, these intangibles that you can't teach, that makes the difference. Like your music is amazing, your
Mm-hmm.
character is trash. Like you miss out on
Oh,
opportunities. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's about
man.
serving. You have to know, like, you know, you're going into someone else's house. They know exactly what they want in their house. You can't go in there telling them what to hang up. You know what kind of flooring to lay down. They already know what they want. Just give them what they want, and you're good. You know?
It don't make you any less of a creative. Matter of fact, it's a test of your creativity
It is.
to have the ability to compromise. And what you'll learn from that is that, as much as you may believe in what you're doing, as much as you may love what you're doing, you don't always have the answers.
Yep.
And you cannot underestimate the value. Even though my motto is do it yourself, DIY, you don't
Mhm.
want to underestimate the value of putting your heads together with like-minded individuals that can help one another become better than they've ever been on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crucial.
That's good, man. Lee the Plug had a question. He said, "How were you able to land your first beat placement, and how did you feel when it released?"
Uh, it depends on what you count as the first placement, but I can tell you this: the first song with two artists that at the time they weren't as big as they are today, but the
Mhm.
first placement I ever got was through my personal relationship with Absol.
Okay.
Absol is obviously a TDE representative, but the first placement I ever got with Absol on his project with TDE was featuring a guy named Kendrick Lamar, K Dot at the time.
Mhm.
How lucky am I? But that opportunity didn't come because I was so tapped in and I was always in the studio. That
Yeah.
opportunity came because Absol told me one day, he said, Curtis, I just got signed to TDE,
Mm-hmm.
and you have been working with me for the last few months. Just let me come over to the house and just we were just doing songs, and I was just producing for him because I was a fan of what he was doing at a young age.
Right.
We were both around the same age, and he was like, "Give me a CD full of 20 beats, and I'm just gonna float it around CDE." Not even a question. I got the CD to him the next hour. For a lot of people in our industry, they'll look at that and say, "Yo, that's thirsty, bro. Like you gotta, there's a certain way you gotta handle that, and you gotta do things different." That CD not only got me that placement first off with Kendrick Lamar and Ab Soul, that same CD was there is a beat on there, terrible beat. It was nothing but
Mm-hmm.
808s and gunshots, but that beat was that beat was supposed to be for J Rock, but
Okay.
Schoolboy Q actually rapped on that beat to audition to get signed to TDE.
Wow.
Didn't know about that till years later. He says it's actually a video on my YouTube that he says it. He's like, "Man, that beat was trash, but man, shout out to Curtis King, bro, because he's like that was a good look for me." But every placement that I ever got was about the relationship. I wish I had those producer movie stories where I was standing in the rain for 4 hours, 5 hours, but I think sometimes there's a lot of luck that we don't take into consideration, even just being in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I want to say, last thing that you pointed out earlier,
Mm.
these opportunities that I got a lot of times weren't because I was the best producer in the room.
Yeah.
I know I wasn't the best producer.
Yep.
Grammy nominated, no Grammys at all.
Yep.
This person has the classic records. It was simply because if I worked with Curtis, he's reliable. He'll get it done. He ain't the best in his room, but man, is he reliable. And
Yeah.
I felt like that is, and then also too, studio etiquette, knowing
Yep.
when to shut up when people are talking business amongst each other and not trying to intervene or trying to, jump on people's toes. So
Yeah.
those things I think ultimately happen. How did I feel when I got it? I was excited for like a few hours. I didn't get paid for it, but I was excited for a few hours. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that's crazy. I can't wait to tell my coworkers at Quiznos.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Like I'm telling you, man. Like it's those intangibles. Like when someone knows they can rely on you and you're gonna be there, you're gonna show up.
Yes.
Man, like that's everything, man. Because they don't have that takes worry off of them. That gives them value. Because it's just like if I pass it to this one producer, yeah, he's fired, but man, like I don't like.
His breath stink. It'll be something minor like his breath stink, bro. Like
Something, something.
he cool, but he don't believe in deodorant. Like I've heard it. I hate to say it, how shallow folks can be, but I'm telling you, I've heard it
It's
where
the
they like,
reality.
"You talking about musty? Why you call it musty, bro? You know why I call it musty." And then that'd be the reason why they don't get it. I know that sounds shallow and it sounds ridiculous, but I've heard it firsthand where it's like, I'm gonna have him just email those in. And you would think, like, there's no way that person probably had a million different reasons in their head why they didn't get invited back to the room.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was
Facts,
just
bro.
that.
Yeah, man.
He was just a few sprays away from being back in the session. That's
So it's
wild.
just a stick of deodorant away from his next opportunity. That's crazy.
He was a few aerosol sprays away from placement making your day. That's crazy. But it's you're dealing with folks that are very particular about their environment because they have the right to be particular. They have the
Right.
clout. They have the opportunities that we're trying to in those spaces be a part of. So
Yeah.
I hate to say like I'm not trying to say you got to be perfect, but I'm saying that sometimes there's elements that are out your control that are the
Hmm.
least expected that are the reasons you don't get invited back. So don't take any of it personal.
Yeah. It's a fact. Yeah, man. So you mentioned some sync placements, Levi's and things like that. Like, what was that experience like? Just working on that, because I'm assuming like by this time where you've already kind of like done your thing as an artist and a producer, just creating records. So was this like just
No,
something
I
that
like
just
I was getting records, bro. I was getting a whole lot of records that were getting placed with West Coast artists like Glasses Malone, Mac 10, and folks that I grew up looking up to, right? The
okay?
Absol one obviously opened up more opportunities, but not financial opportunities. The Glass Malone was the first one I ever got paid for a placement, but
Okay.
I had already accumulated so much debt waiting for these placements to drop that
Mm.
it really didn't make a dent. But my first money opportunity was actually through van skateboarding.
Okay.
And they did like a DVD Vans Downtown Showdown. And I got that one from actually a homegirl of Ab Souls who invited me to come down to this event.
Mm.
And I met the video editing department in the back of the event, and I gave them my CD. They were like, "Cool, we'll listen to it." And I'm like, "It's like real old school with that." But how was it, Clint? You want me to keep it funky?
Well, 100, bro.
You sure? You sure? Because I mean, you got folks in here, man. I don't want to
Nope.
move
No.
nobody
Hey,
away from it.
I want I
What, man?
want
You
them to
sure?
I want them to know the reality of it, because it's not for everybody. Sing's not for everybody, bro. Like there's some
Yeah.
listen. I've worked on some projects where I'm like, is this what I really want to do?
Okay.
But
All right.
I
All right.
love I love the process.
You gave me the blessing. All right, so here's how it works, and it never fails for me. And I don't know if it's based upon the way that I went and approached it. I have to assume it's my fault.
Okay.
But every single opportunity that I have had has started and ended the same way.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning, the proposal. Oh man, you gonna pay how much? Oh, and what you looking for? Oh, I got like 50 beats like that. That's nothing. Starts off that way, right? They give the reference, everybody's all smiles.
Mm-hmm.
Then there becomes the request for the first edit. No, I got that. That's easy. Easy edit, no problem.
Yeah.
Then comes the email about, they like where it's going, but here's some other things to take into consideration.
Oh man, I see where this is going.
Then you get suggestions that you have never heard in your music making life. I kid you not, there was a gentleman one time told me, "We like it, Curtis. Can you make it more gangster though?"
Oh
I
my
said,
gosh.
what could this gentleman possibly mean when he says gangster? He said, like B.O.B. And I said, that's the end of the statement. That's the end of the statement. I was like, that's not, it don't matter who else is on that song. That's the end of the statement. And then in my mind, I said, oh, that means darker. You want it to just be like a darker, minor chords. Okay. I wish you would have just said that. But I get into the nitty gritty of it, and there's so many edits that they request. And it's like, my frustration is, okay, you're relaying ideas that are not making sense. I wish I had a translator. I wish there was a musician on board that could just talk to me in my language,
Mm.
because that separation between the two where they're like, "Yeah, man, just make it more active.
Yeah.
Do you want hi-hats or do you want me to speed up the BPM?" Hey Curtis, me and everybody in the gang were talking. We think you should go to 166 instead of 167.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
So I say that to say that's the middle part. Then the end part is we're finally getting to the nitty gritty of it. It's done. And I go through that mental part of my brain that says, I'm never doing this again. Then I get the check. Then I get the check, and I'm like, I
I don't
mean,
know.
if I had to, maybe I'll learn something the next time. And I go through the process, and it happens again. But this last time, I may need to talk to you may have to be, you know how Caesar Milano is a dog whisperer. I know you're the sink whisperer. I may have to come talk to you for a counseling session, because this last time might have been the last time.
Yeah.
Right? I get with the company. I did all of this work with them. I'm not going to mention I signed an NDA. Did all
Mm.
this work for them to decide halfway through that it's only going to be something that's played internally to the company. That's fine. Whatever.
Mm.
Not going to go to the public. Whatever. I didn't brag about it. Didn't say nothing. Cool. All this work I did, they allowed their video editor to derail the entire process,
Oh
and they didn't
wow.
even know it. And I had nobody that I can talk to let them know like how much he's butchering this process.
Yeah.
So I know I'm ranting, but long story short, I was asked to create a piece of music that was going to be for like a highlight reel for this particular clip.
Mm.
And I'm making a music, huge company. I'm making all of this music, and they love it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they asked for changes. Part of the changes or suggestion they had was they wanted it to have different drops. My dumbass said, "Why don't I just give you different variations of it, and you guys choose what direction you want to go energetically.
Mm-hmm.
The video editor gets that and then decides, I'm going to use every single one of those beats that you made.
Bruh. and put them together like as.
Yes.
Oh
Now it's a mixtape. Now, instead of doing one beat, every time they ask for an edit, I'm making an edit on 8 different beats.
Oh no. Oh no.
So he starts shifting things because he's getting in his editing brain. He's getting excited, but he doesn't understand that when you shift things even by a nanosecond, things like, for instance, they wanted to have like a tape stop effect.
Okay.
And you can automate that on, I'm using FL Studio. You can automate that. Only issue is you can't always guarantee the timing of it to be exact because it's chasing the bars, right?
Okay.
Well, everything's off the grid now because he's not going according to that.
Yep.
So the amount of surgery that I had to do for the check that I got, I looked at that money drop in my account and I was like, that's cool. I'm never doing this again. And it's not money that you look at ever and say, that's cool. I looked at that and I was like, I talked to him on the phone and I said, creator to creator, I just want to let you know, this is a challenge. You're making it a big, it doesn't have to be. If you just go according to your grid, all of our lives are easier.
Right.
I'll take that into consideration, Kurt. Didn't change anything. I said I ain't never doing this again unless I get a mentor like Clint. I ain't doing this again, man. I can't go in there, bro. This is trash.
That's crazy. So yeah, man. Like I've had situations like that. The majority of them, not as intense as that. So I had a project where we were doing an album for a company. Easily like 17 revisions, bro. And this wasn't no okay money, bro. This was like probably like, I don't know, a few hundred up front. I'm like, and the crazy thing is we were in it. I gave the composer I was working with my word. So I was like, I'm in this joint now. Like I can't just back out. Like, so we in this joint and that's the challenge, bro, because sometimes you're working with people who know nothing about music, nothing about DAWs, nothing about mix, like none of that stuff. They don't know how to explain stuff. Like I had a buddy once where he was just like, yo, publisher hit me back, told me to take the piano out the joint. There's no piano in this track. It's like, what is he talking about?
Who hires these people?
So, it's the craziest thing. So a lot of times you're working with people who know nothing about what we do, and you're trying to communicate with them. You got people telling you they want gangster rap like what was the artist you named? Like B.O.B.
I thought working with rappers, and I love my artists, I love my rappers. I thought working with rappers would be the most challenging thing of my career.
It's not, bro.
I know. I thought that, because rappers got a way of like, because we're all in the culture, we bend the rules of professionalism. We'll just say things like, oh man, like I just want something that's like larger than life, but like small as a hot pocket in certain places. You feel me? But like I want something like I could play in a club, but like something that like I whisper in somebody's ear. You feel me? Like what are you actually asking for? And somehow, some way we'll get to it. With these companies, it's more frustrating because at least we're talking somewhat of the same language with me and the artist. With them, I didn't have somebody tell me my beat was too piano-y. I'm like, what does that mean? And why did you put a Y at the end of that?
Yes, dude.
And then you're sitting here, look, you're sitting here, Clint, like, with the notes over here, listening to the same beat, like, and it becomes an internal struggle of like, nah, bro, that's why they're paying you the big bucks. Like, you're supposed to figure this out. This is part of the. And I go through the same mental jogging, bro, where I'm just like, why did I say yes to this?
yeah, dude, But man, we had so many revisions, and it was like nitpick. I'm like, bro, this was production. This wasn't even an ad. This was production music behind. Like somebody's gonna be talking over this. They're gonna turn the volume to like 2. Like nobody's gonna hear the changes you're asking for. Why are we on revision 27 right now?
The audacity to ask for all these changes and then turn my music to negative 28 decibels is mad. That is sick. That is sickening.
Yes.
You ever get this? And I don't want to compromise no relationships, but do you ever get the idea that sometimes these companies do a little bit of this on purpose so that they get their money's worth? So they can have a log of all these things. Like, this may be a conspiracy theory. Don't mind Crazy Curtis.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
sometimes are like, do you have to report the things that you asked me to do? Because you're asking me things that I'm like, I hate to be ungrateful because y'all paying me, but I'm like, why don't you do that?
Like,
Why don't you,
yeah.
why don't you do that if it's so easy? If it's just a quick fix. Well, no, it's not
Yes,
a quick fix. I gotta open my computer back up. Why don't you just do
bro.
it?
One of the biggest pet peeves of an edit request is um there's a little bit too much silence at the end of the track. I'm like, bro, a video editor can just take that and drag it, bro. Like, drag the silence off and you're good. Like, you can do it. Like, you edit videos, like, it's the same thing. Just drag it. So
I
you
don't want
get
to overstep my boundaries, but
that. That's a pet peeve. Um, but yeah, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if they just feel like, it just has to be an intense project with so many edits sometimes. But yeah, it was crazy because the head composer of that project, he was just like, we're never working with this company again. He was like, it's just way too, because I'm just one composer, bro. We had a team of like 5.
oh
So
gosh.
he's going through everybody's track and emailing, bro. I got a thread for days on that thing, man. It was crazy, bro.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I have only met, I have not had one of these clients that I've worked with that wasn't a situation like that. And it got me thinking one or two things until I met you. Is this just how the business is? Or maybe it's just not for
That,
me.
I think that's a small representation of it. It can happen, and I say be prepared for it, but it shouldn't be. Every experience shouldn't be that way. Um,
I
and
was like, God,
I,
you trying to give me an answer. You trying to let me know something. Like, God was like, son, I want you to go through this so you never go through this again.
yeah, man, nah, cause after that project, shoot, I was second guessing. Like, wait a minute, I got placements, and I'm like, am I supposed to be doing this? Um, but yeah, then the other situation where it was it was communication thing, working with a company, and the main company, I think they were based in China, and just there was just a communication. They were just trying to understand each other, and I thought they only wanted music for the project. Come to find out, they needed complete sound design. I'm talking sound effects, the whole nine. I was like, oh, like that. I didn't would have quoted you a different price. That's
So they
different.
sneak that up on. So that's not uncommon for them to sneak that up on you because they didn't just for show snuck it up. I mean, they were like, "You deal with sound." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
technically."
yep. And they just kind of bunched it all together. But yeah, a communication thing. So I was like, okay, so now I'm learning sound design. And then we went we went through a lot of edits. The tricky thing about this one
Mhm.
was, number one, the time zone difference. I'm working with a company in China. I'm in the U.S. So I was pulling some late nights and some early mornings just to be able to have a conversation. On top of that, the company was I'm working with the video editor. The company was having conversations with the video editor, having him edit things, which, like you mentioned before, that shifts everything, because once he changes the smallest thing in the video, now my music, this accent, this hit or this stab isn't hitting where it was supposed to hit. Now I got to go through and like rework all of that based off the new video. So it was a lot of revisions on that one. And then we
You know how many?
finally,
Go ahead. I'm
go
sorry. I'm
ahead.
sorry. Yeah.
No, I was just saying we finally figured it out, but that one was a lot of work too.
You know how many times they ask me to do something, and I'm like, "There's no resolution. It doesn't make any sense." Like, what is this chord progression right now? Like, what are you asking me to do? It's like dun dun. Whoosh. I'm like, no, don't do that to my beat, or it'll just oddball. I'm just like, I know y'all listen to music, and this don't feel unsettling to y'all.
Dude,
No, because it visually looks amazing.
they do that on TV a lot on like reality shows. Dude, they'll
Yeah.
take your track, they'll chop it, and it'll end on the most weirdest. It'll be like on the 3.75 beat. It happens, bro. They just be butchering your stuff. Like you took so much time just crafting this well structured instrumental for TV, and they just chop, just piece it together like a zombie. Like it's crazy, bro.
Listen, ain't no thing as long as I got that sting. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what that's
As
that.
long as you got
Ain't
this
no
thing
thing as long
ending.
as you got that sting. That's their motto.
Exactly. Yeah, man. So yeah, that I mean that's the real of it. Like those there's some situations where you run into it, but nah, man, I think there's definitely a better side better side. So yeah, man, we'll have to figure something
Introduce me
out, man.
to it, bro. Please introduce me to it, man. Like, you ever need a rapper? You ever need a vocalist, man? I'm here for you, bro. But like,
Man,
man, I going to war with these folks. Not even war, but like just like going through that motion. For
yeah.
me, because of the experiences I've had, it felt like that it felt like that meme that they used from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. He's like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't even know what's ahead of me,
Yeah.
and I'm not excited by it. But every single time I go through the same emotions, and it's like, you're doing it again, aren't you? Because first the answer is no. First the answer is no. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And they give me the amount. I'm like, I don't care how much it is. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
Oh man, well we only need, and them words is famous last words, dangerous words. We only need. Let's hear your
Yeah.
catalog. We might be able to just take. They no
Man.
no man.
Yeah.
But outside
Nah.
of that, it was amazing, bro. Like
Yeah.
my son's first birthday party. Yo, shout
Yeah.
out to Levi, fam. Like that right there.
Yeah.
He did it up big. I felt like a celebrity dad at that day.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, dude. That'll be crazy, man. Like, type in the chat if y'all would like to see a Clint Curtis King collaboration for some sync stuff. That'll be crazy.
Amazing, man.
But
Amazing.
man, listen, dude. I don't want to hold you, man. I know it's getting late. We gave the people an extra special treat tonight. So thank you for your time, man. Thank you for your expertise, and we'll have to chop it up again soon and figure something out to give you a better sync experience as well.
Look, I just read the signs on the wall, man. If the wall keeps telling me like make it more gangster, more B.O.B., then I just feel like you're telling me this for a reason. But no, man. All jokes aside, shout out to you. Much love and respect to the community in the chat. I'm grateful to be here. My apologies on the delay in getting in here, but
It's all
super
good.
dope experience. Salute, hats off to all the composers, and yeah, Curtis King on everything. Greatly appreciate everyone. So yeah, thank you.
Indeed, man. No doubt, man. We'll be in touch.
All right,
Peace.
peace.